I'm Carrie Edmondson. I'm the Director of K through 12 Partnerships. I want to introduce some people that are here with me tonight. We have Sharon Johnson, who's the CTE Director for Richmond County Schools. Wiley Bell, Assistant Director of Marketing and Communications. Leighton Bell, Assistant Director of Marketing and Communications at RCC. This is Christy Mabe. She is the High School Liaison for Richmond County. And Miss Christy Arias, who is the Power School Data Manager for Richmond Senior High School. And then Mr. McKenzie's here. We're here tonight to present you with some information that you will need for the upcoming semester. One of the most important things, while the parents are here, I wanted to get this out of the way first because it is imperative, and it is important because parents have a hard time grasping this sometimes. To share the information about the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, also known as FERPA. In a nutshell, FERPA mandates that only the student can receive information from their RCC instructor. We know that these are your babies, and we know that they are young, and you just think we should be able to jump in there and help them and find out what's going on. Because of that, there is a waiver that is signed that all the instructors share information with some RCC staff, and then we give all that information to Richmond Senior High School staff. So if you have questions, concerns, and anything about that or about their class, you need to contact your child's guidance counselor. Now, for you to be involved with that, if you want to meet with an instructor, your child can set that up and you can be present. Okay? You as a parent cannot call the instructor and say, I want to talk about so-and-so's grades, or I want to find out why he's not doing his homework, or I want to let you know he's sick and he's in the bed and he can't come to school. You can't do that. It is all up to the student. Again, like I said, now the student can call and say, I want to set up a meeting, and can bring you along with them, but you are with them. So they're kind of in control of that. So that's why all the information and grades and progress reports and everything comes here to the school, to Richmond Senior High. And your counselor is able to give you that information. And I'll talk a little bit more about progress reports and stuff in just a few minutes. I want to go into student accommodations, and I'm just going to touch briefly on this. If you have a 504 or an IEP plan, it's important that you let your counselor know here at Richmond Senior High School, because your counselor here will initiate that. We have a certain individual at Richmond Community College that deals with student accommodations, and they will get that initiated. They will get that process started. You cannot wait. We had an incident this semester that nothing was said, and then on the final exam, because they were doing fine, and on the final exam, they wanted more time. Well, because it hasn't been done throughout the whole semester, you can't come up at the end and do it. So it's important that if you feel like you need any accommodations, get a hold of your counselor, and they will make that initial contact. Y'all understand that part of it? And before I go on, do you have any questions about FERPA or about student accommodations? Because we're going to get into some more things. Is everybody okay with that? All right. Now that we've defined the parents' role, we're going to turn our attention to the students. First, we're going to talk about transportation. We have buses that can take students from Richmond Senior High School to RCC and back during first and fourth block, which is when you guys take your courses. We have a sheet. Ms. Johnson has a sheet. She's going to have a sign-up sheet up here, and where you put your name, whether you need it first block, fourth block, or both. If you're not sure, but there's that slight chance you may need it, go ahead and put your information on the sheet so we want to have enough buses to be able to do that. We had a huge turnout that used buses this past fall. In the beginning, we had probably 3 or 4 that said that they needed it, and that was all. We ended up, by the end of the semester, having more than one bus full. So we need to know how many are going to use the buses. So if you can do that at the end of this, I would greatly appreciate it.
Carrie, before you move on,
sure.
To discuss a little bit about buses, one little situation that we had for those of you who are using transportation for fourth block. Some of you would run over to the student center and grab a snack here and there, and then run out to get on the buses, and the bus would be gone. Please make sure that when you dismiss from your college class, that you go straight out to the buses and get on the buses then.
They're not waiting on you.
They're not waiting.
It's your responsibility to get to that bus. It's there, and it stays enough time, just enough time for you to get out of your class and get there. But those buses bring you back here to Richmond, who is waiting, that has to be gone at a certain time, because you get on the bus with everybody else. So it's very important you do not dilly-dally. You go straight to the bus if you use that. Did you want to speak to that?
Just briefly, the reason is we have 945 students that ride the bus here normally. We're kind of like a hub. We have students from the 9th grade academy, a few from Lake Street, then the RCC students and the early college students will all meet in the bus parking lot, and then they leave those buses and get on buses that will carry them to their homes. Any bus that's delayed delays all our buses. So we've got 23 buses, 945 students, besides those students coming from RCC or the college that are waiting on those students. So one bus load can delay 23 or over 900 other students leaving campus. So it is imperative that, like she said, that when your class is over, you go straight to the bus so there's no delay here, because we have to release these buses at 3:05. Our buses, those 23 buses here that are full, they leave and go out all over the county. And some of them have a two and a half hour bus ride at that time also. So we don't want to delay that.
I want to talk a little bit about attendance. Attendance is a must. Your attendance in your college class is key to you being successful. Okay? If you're missing too many days, you're missing whatever you're getting in that class. There are times you're going to miss, and I understand that. Your instructors understand that. You're even going to have times where it's unavoidable to you. Students that are starting classes January 9th, which is this Friday, you're going to have final exams at all different times during the day over the following couple weeks. Those instructors are aware that those are possibilities and that will happen. It is up to you to let your instructor know. I'm going to be out on Tuesday, such and such a date, because I have my final exam at Richmond. It will be excused, but it is on you to let that instructor know. If you miss, there are times you're going to get sick. I understand things are going to happen. Please contact your instructor. Let them know you're not going to be there and get your missed assignments. They are not going to handhold you and say, you missed this, so I'm giving this to you. If you miss it, you miss it. I would say probably 75% of our instructors have a no-test makeup policy. If you miss a test, if you miss a day that is a test, you just get a 0 on it. So it is important to read your syllabus, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute, to see those test dates are usually laid out. Now, extenuating circumstances, obviously, but that's where communication is key. You have to communicate with your instructor. You have to. So it's just very important that you attend your classes. Okay, like I said about the final exams, I know a lot of you that are starting January 9th, please make sure that you're letting those instructors know. They are aware that you're going to be coming to them and letting them know that you're going to be out. So I'm not going to do it for you, Miss Mabe's not going to do it for you. It's up to you guys to let that instructor know you're not going to be there when you're taking your final exams here. Miss Mabe's going to speak to you just a few minutes about RCC's computer access and to help you be successful in college, some of the resources that we have. So I'm going to turn it over to her to let her speak to you about those few things.
Oh, good evening. Okay, there are 3 different methods that you all can log into RCC and keep up with what you're doing, not only as a student, but as a parent as well, keep up with what your child is doing. The first is through Moodle. Most of you are very familiar with Moodle, but a lot of you think that this is just where I go and turn in and submit assignments for instructors. But Moodle has so much more opportunities in it than just looking at that. You can communicate with your instructors through Moodle, not just through email, but you can also go in and keep up with your grades. If you have an instructor that puts grades into Moodle on a regular basis, then you can go in there and know, hey, I'm not doing too great right now, I need to pick it up, or maybe I need to meet with my instructor, or maybe I should find a tutor. As Carrie or Ms. Emerson had stated earlier about FERPA, where parents cannot contact the instructors to talk about your child's progress, Moodle is where you can. But what you do is you get the login information from your child, and you log into their Moodle account, and you can look and see what they're doing, kind of like how you can log into PowerSchool for their high school grades. You can log into their Moodle account, and you can look at their grades in there as well, and kind of keep up with a progress through there. If you're not familiar with Moodle, your username is going to be your first initial, middle initial, last name. So mine would be CL Mabe. Your password would be RCC and your ID number that's located on your RCC ID. So for example, yes, it would be on your schedule, on your billing statement as well. So like RCC 0506729. So that would be your login information. If at any time you have any trouble logging in, you can contact me, and I can contact the IT department to get them to reset that for you, okay? You all need to make sure that you log into Moodle on Friday. You may not be able to log into it right now because the new semester hasn't started yet, but you need to check by Friday. If you cannot log in by Friday, you need to contact me, okay? Any of you who have a hybrid class or an online class, if it's hybrid, okay, you're going to have an H on your schedule. For example, English 111, BH1. That H in there means it's hybrid. It means you're going to meet with the instructor face-to-face for some part of the class, and you're going to have online assignments for some part of the class. If you have a strictly online class, you're going to have a W, like English 111 W1. That means you have no face-to-face meetings with the instructor. You're strictly online. There's something very, very, very important to make sure you all do. All hybrid and online classes have what's called an introductory quiz that you have to take. That quiz lets the instructor know, hey, I'm here and I'm taking the class. You need to take that quiz within the first 2 days of class starting. If you miss that due date, you're automatically dropped from the class, and there's nothing that we can do about that.
They count you as, instead of it's not even really being dropped, you're counted as never attended the class. You have to, that's how they take attendance when you have hybrid and online, is by that assignment. That's what enters the class. So it's not even like you're dropped, it's like you have never even attended that class. That's how important that this is. Even if you have a face-to-face class, if you have a Moodle portion, an online portion, you have to do that. We've had a lot of issues, some of that with some of the high school students kind of getting that mixed up, but that's very important.
If you're having a hard time locating where the introductory quiz is, call me, I'll help you. If you are one of the 12-week students, which means your classes do not start until February the 9th, of course you will not do your introductory quiz until February the 9th. And you may not be able to log into Moodle until February the 9th, okay? So even if you don't understand that and you have questions, call me, okay? And I'll work with you on that. Do y'all have any questions about Moodle? All right. Next, I want to talk to you about WebAdvisor. WebAdvisor is a good place for you all to go in and look if you want to see your unofficial transcript for RCC, or if you just want to pull up your schedule. So you can log into WebAdvisor and look at that. A lot of you have called and, I haven't gotten my schedule in the mail yet, and I know a lot of students have, and where is mine at? WebAdvisor is where you can go and look for it. You log into WebAdvisor the same way you do Moodle, okay? But you can log in there at any time and look at your schedule and look at your unofficial transcript there. Again, with college grades, they're not posted until the end of the semester, unlike high school where you get 2 grades per semester. This one is in December and then again in May. The last on here is email. You log into your email the same as you do with Moodle and WebAdvisor. All of the information is the same. But again, if at any time you're having trouble with it and it's not working, just contact me and I'll get in touch with IT and have them reset your information. It is very important that you all check your RCC email at least twice a week, at least. I may send emails out to you, Ms. Edmondson may send emails out to you, your instructors may send emails out to you. A lot of times, maybe they have to cancel class, and that's how they let you know. We hate for you to drive all the way out on campus, and then your class was canceled because the instructor's not there. But of course, even though you're not having class, you still need to study, so you still have class, okay? But this is how you can get in touch with your instructors as well, is through email. A lot of RCC important dates, Student Government Association there, they send out some information to you all, and you can get that through your email too. As a matter of fact, this past semester, I sent out some information through Moodle and through your email about registration. So if you're checking it like you're supposed to, you would get that information out a lot sooner. Any questions? Okay. All right. Real quick, talking about the ICR, the instructor course requirements. This is kind of like the contract in an instructor's class. This talks about not just RCC's policies, but also what the instructor requires out of you as the student while you're in there. They explain their absentee records, their policies in there. They explain their tardy policies. They explain their grading system, how they count different quizzes and things like that. They give their contact information. This is just everything that you need to know about this class, and a lot of you tend to not read that, and it's very, very, very important that you read it. If there's ever an incident where you feel like you were unfairly treated about a grade, that is the first place I would look if an early college student was to come to me and ask. I'm going to pull the instructor course requirement and I'm going to read it. And if it clearly states, well, this instructor says right here, if you've missed so many days, then you can't come back in this classroom. Or if you've had 3 tardies, that's 1 absence because it states right here on the ICR. You all need to log into your Moodle. All of the ICRs are located in Moodle. Click on the class and print out that ICR. And you need to read it. You need to have one for each class, and you need to keep it in the binder for that class. Your parents, you need to read them and make sure you understand what the instructor requires out of your child as well. And if you have any questions with that, I'll also answer any of those if you don't understand anything. Any questions so far? Okay. Last is just books. You all should have received a letter and some information about textbooks and your schedule before you got out for Christmas break. But just in case you didn't, we brought some textbooks with us tonight. You can pick up when it's over if you haven't gotten them yet. If not, all you need to do is go to the RCC bookstore with your billing statement or with your schedule, and they will give you your textbook then, okay? So any questions about books? Okay.
All right, just a couple more things. Progress reports. And this is what I was telling you guys. What we do is report cards go out April 2nd. We, RCC instructors, give progress reports to Miss Mabe. Miss Mabe sends those to Miss Arias. The progress report, the grade in the class at that time will not be on the report card, but your progress report will be attached to your report card on April 2nd, which is midway through the semester. The final grade for that class will be on your final report card. So you won't have a progress report on that, it'll actually have the number grade. So from us and from the high school, as far as something coming home, the progress report goes out in the mail with, or gives to they give them to you guys, right? Gives to the student and will be attached to the report card. So you'll know on April 2nd, if you've not looked through all the resources we've told you that you could actually check on your child, you will know what their grade is, how they're doing at that point when they get report cards on April 2nd. But that final grade won't be on the report card until their final report card in June. Okay? This is where I'm going to get Ms. Johnson to step up here with me. This is the last thing we're going to talk about. This is really the crux of why we brought you guys here. We wanted to cover a few of those things just to reiterate those, even if you're a returning student. But we have changed the procedure with withdrawing or dropping classes. Beginning this semester, So when you start class in Friday, January 9th, or Monday, February 9th, you will not be allowed to withdraw from your RCC course. Once you start that course, you are in that course. So if it is to your benefit, if you don't do well on the first quiz or the first exam, you can't come and say, like you've done in the past, Miss Evanson, Miss Mabe, I want to drop the class and come back to Richmond and be put somewhere. They're not doing that, and we're not doing that. We will not drop you from the course, okay? If you fail every single test up till the last minute and you have said, you're going to get an F on your high school report card and you will get an F on your college transcript. I know that sounds harsh, but that's just how it is. You guys are going to start taking a little bit more responsibility. You're signing up. That's why I want to talk to the parents. You're signing up for this class. You're signing up for a class, a college class, as a high school student.
You know, one of the things, problems we ran into, where when the college announced it was to a point in their schedule where you could drop their classes, RCC students. Some of our high school students thought they could, at that time, make that decision also. And what happened, we had an influx of students wanting to come back, and we were so far into the semester that it was not fair to put that student into a regular classroom because certainly our numbers sometimes won't hold it where in the classes they want at that time, but they also so far behind it was impossible for them to catch up. So we made a decision that once you commit to taking a class at RCC, that you're in it for the long haul. And you know, one of the things I did want to point out, we met with 30 of our graduates yesterday. They graduated last year and they're in college, and so we invited them. They're still on holiday break. We invited them here in the media center. We met with them over on the other side and had some discussions with them and asked them, what are some of the things that we did well here at Richmond Senior High that prepared you for college? And what are some of the things that maybe we need to work on to do a better job? You know, because it's like when they graduated, and the superintendent put this together, Dr. Goodman, it's like students graduated, they went on to college and we didn't get any more feedback or hear anything or ask them how are you doing or what are we doing. So it was time to kind of find out what we're doing. Are we doing a good job? What do we need to do better? And are we wasting your time with some of the things we do? And we got a lot of good feedback. But one of the things that really struck me was and we had about 22 show up, was the students that said what prepared them is as much as anything, or certainly AP and honors courses, but the RCC courses. The rigor and the way those professors delivered instruction prepared those students, or our students, our past students, for an education at the next level. And that was exciting. So being committed, there's a amount of rigor. You're in this program because you're capable. It gets tough, but it's going to get tough when you get to college. And you don't, easy way out's not what we want you to do. We want you to buckle down and be successful. And that's why we've got this partnership, because we know those students that we're working with RCC to allow to go over there, they can be successful. So we're in it for the long haul. We're going to support you all we can, but know that once you commit, you're committed for a semester.
And you guys are qualified for these classes. I mean,
Absolutely.
You see however many juniors and seniors total there are, you see the ones that are here. I mean, you guys are qualified to take these college classes. We didn't just put you in a class to set you up for failure. This is something you guys earned. This is something we know and the high school know that you can do. This is just whether you put the effort to see this through.
And one of the things I said earlier about growing pains, we went from 3 years ago offering Spanish here as a college course where RCC sent a professor over here to now we're offering about 23 courses. So we have expanded it greatly. And what we found out was that with that expansion comes some things that we just didn't expect. And with a professor coming here, we didn't have to drop out or students wanting to take advantage of a situation where they could drop. This year we found out that is an option that the college is offering that we can't offer, because it's really not fair to the students that are at RCC or the students here at Richmond Senior High. Okay.
Do y'all want to add to that?
Can I-
Yes, please.
Okay, now you are committed, but according to your PowerPoint, you have until Friday to
Change your
uncommit,
mind.
for lack of a better term, if you feel that you would not be successful at RCC. But you need to let me know. I'm in the office. You need to call me, or you need to come by and let me know before 3 o'clock Friday, because once you hit, you're in, okay? And if any of you have not given us your schedule, that you're in a class at RCC, we need that too, because we need to fix your schedule for next semester. So if you have it or can get it, and we have not gotten it, we need for you to give it to me as soon as you can, so that we can fix you up for next semester.
If you haven't got your schedule, you can call me and I can reprint you one for you. Or you can go on WebAdvisor and you can print it yourself.
You know, you're receiving dual credit. So you're earning high school credit, but you're earning a college credit. And to earn that college credit, that rigor, it takes you to another level, and you have to earn that college credit. And that's what we want to get you ready for, prepare you for college, and so you can be successful later on. The superintendent made a good point. You know, we invest, each student in Richmond County Schools, we invest about $100,000 in your education. From kindergarten to grade 12, we spend about $100,000 on each student. And at that point in time, it ends. Well, we want to make sure you're successful from that point on now, and that's part of what we're doing with this partnership.
And I wish I had brought the statistics, but we have done some analyzing of data. The Career and College Promise students taking college courses versus a traditional regular student, the percent of the higher grade is with the CCP, with the Career and College Promise high school students. I mean, it's amazing how well you guys are doing. So we know we've got the right students in this program. We know we're picking the right students are picking us, and the benefit that you're getting after high school is just phenomenal. And it saves you money. I mean, you're not paying tuition, you're not paying transportation, you're not paying activity fee, you're not paying books. It's even if you could only get one course, it is a benefit to you and your parents. So what we decided with this withdrawal drop was, I mean, between Richmond Community College and Richmond Senior High, Richmond County Schools, that was something that we decided to do together. We both support each other on that. Instructors on campus know that, so this is just a procedure that's starting this spring.